All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're going to be covering some raid news that has come out in terms of upcoming events for this week and also the big event with the event dungeon and new champions coming out that they've been teasing. So, hopping over to this week, starting on Tuesday, so June 2nd, we've got the 2x Mythical, which I believe the last time we had this was almost 4 or 5 months ago. But 2x event on the Primal Shard. It's got the epic, legendary, and mythical, so this is the good one where it's not just like epics and legendaries where they put out like a bait 2x on the primals. I don't know why they ever do that, but it's really annoying when they do. So this is a big one, and it happens to line up with CVC, and I believe it's PR, so this is going to be a really big CVC, I would assume. If your clan is planning to go into a fight, make sure you got resources ready. In terms of what you should do on this, probably just pull everything you have. Any 2x primals, since they happen like 4 to 5 times a year at this point, maybe have like 20 to 30 to pull if you've been doing random events and collecting things. Obviously, if you're a spender, this is going to be a big time to pick up some packs. If they have a discount, you want to shoot for about $4 per primal. A lot of times they offer 20 for 100. It puts them at $5. That's a general always available kind of price. So if there's anything lower than that, it's pretty good. Down to $4 is the best, and then anything hovering around like the high fours to five, I wouldn't really focus on too much. This is going to last 2 days, so the duration of CVC, and then a 5x event for speed from the Dragon's Lair. So everybody during CVC, if you're looking for points, the play is just run as much dragon as you can. Speed is still one of the best sets in the game for speed on your champions. Speed meta with Mercurial is insanely good. You want really fast champions. The caveat is a lot of those fast champions you want in Mercurial, so I'm not sure how good speed is going to be in terms of the meta continuing on. However, just having the fastest champion is oftentimes a key to victory. You can have a faster champion that then boosts your like Mercurial horse with Stormcaller that then just kind of wins you the game. So great event. I believe this is the first time they've ever done something above like 3x as well. So pretty good chances of getting speed gear. Highly recommend going for that. Overall, going to be a pretty big event. Very excited to pull my primals as well during this, so I'll probably make a video on that when it comes out. In terms of the event, I've got some screenshots of what's happening. So we've been given the event of June 3rd, so this coming week. The 3rd is, if I check the calendar, because I don't know off the top of my head, looks like that's Wednesday. So this Wednesday going to August 5th, so multiple months in there in that event, 2 months. Phase 1 in June will be a fragment fusion. For we've already looked at that fusion in a video. It turns out the numbers on that fusion in terms of damage aren't very good. The kit is still interesting, so I'd recommend probably going for it if you can. If you're endgame, you should definitely go for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a heavy hitter combined with the unique kit. More of so just a unique kit that can do a little bit of damage. We've also got the event dungeon start, a reward calendar, which we'll show the rewards for later, a Bastion redesign, and a soundtrack update. And then July, there's a free legendary, a classic fusion, and then a coalition event. There's some new champions, so Fulin, this is the fusion we talked about. Damage, not very good. Kit, interesting. Could have some implications on fighting Mercurial. Without it doing damage, I'm not really sure how much you're going to end up seeing it. But again, the kit is interesting enough. They've buffed fusions in the past. I wouldn't skip this if you have the means. We've also got Rhea the Mourned. Looks like this is from Shards. Talena Soulseer from Shards. Varkos Head Splitter from Shards. Hagaba the Nest Maid. This is going to be the classic fusion in July. And then Valorin the Equalizer. This is going to be the loyalty, I'm assuming, just login program. So 3 that you get for free, 3 that are going to be in terms of events. And when they do the events like that, it's most likely going to be something like a Deck of Fate, a Hero's Path, and maybe a prism or a tournament win for the other one. Generally, whichever champion ends up being best or the most sought after is going to be a tournament reward or just only available in a prism. I would really enjoy if they did like multiple decks over the 2 months or 2 paths so that you can at least get them all guaranteed. I really don't like the tournament rewards. If you throw them in a prism, it is what it is. These champions don't look like they're a part of any IP collaboration, so it's not like they're going to go away once the event is over. So them being in the prism or just kind of not being available is as a guarantee is fine with me. But if they're hyping up this event, it's kind of cool when they hype up these champions and then give you at least a shot at getting them. And, you know, if they offer them in a really hard path, they're going to make some money off of that anyway. So those are the champions that are out. We've got the kit for Telena Soulsteer, and it won't let me zoom in any further. But hopefully we can read. It's got an A1, activates 2 poisons, activates poisons if this target has any skills on cooldown. A2, attacks all enemies, 75% chance of 2 poisons on all of them, increase turn meter of all allies. A3, attack all enemies before attacking, increase accuracy, and then decrease enemy buff duration and cooldowns of enemy skills, so a little bit of a lockout. And then a passive, increased ally turn meter whenever poison is activated. And then decrease enemies' crit rate by 5% and crit damage by 10% for each poison debuff on them. Not really sure about this kit. Alright, totally lost my train of thought. I had to pause the video and assist my dog with an accident that he had. But we are back, and if I remember correctly, I was talking about this champion's kit overall. It doesn't seem like it'll have much use in any PvP. Again, it's poison, which is bad, and then with Mercurial, it's even worse. You've got the ally turn meter on poison activation, which could be interesting for like Chimera, but just poisons and increase accuracy, I'm not sure that it's going to make it. Decrease crit rate and crit damage by 5% for each poison. The general PvE champions often have like for the bosses, like a 15% or even a little bit higher or lower crit rate on them. So if you get this on them, it reduces that to make the runs more consistent. So maybe like early dungeons, this is good, but even then, like once you get to hard dungeons, you're not really using poisons, and it's, oh, it says right here this doesn't even work against bosses, so scrap that. I don't know, this champion just seems like a little bit of a filler to me. Doesn't seem interesting. Maybe the lockout has some use, but then you've got significantly better lockout champions, so not 100% sure. Now, I did just read the A3 again, so you got an attack all enemies with an increased accuracy, and then a debuff decrease, or a buff duration decrease with a cooldown increase. So a little bit interesting, kind of like Fabian, where you just kind of want him to go. You're getting the increased accuracy, which cuts the requirement for the lockout by quite a bit. However, you're also making this only 2 turns instead of a full lockout. Could be seen to have a little bit of interest right there, being a lockout with a self buff. And then same affinity, so same affinity as Crixia and Fabian, so there could be a little bit of potential there. The rest of the kit, not really seeing it at the moment, though. And next one we got is Varkos, the Head Splitter. The A1 is attack twice, ignore unkillable. Pretty good in this meta, like Theodosia, other champions with unkillable. Garrel, when counterattacking, attacks 3 times instead, so that's Mercurial counter right there. A2 attacks 1 enemy twice, ignores block damage and shield. So ignoring block damage, pretty good. You got your Jones, you got your Odins, you got your Nice. That's a pretty good one. And whenever this champion teams up with an ally to use this skill to attack an enemy, they will use this skill, and it will attack 3 times. So that's very interesting. So if this does a lot of damage on an ally attack, like a Mikage, I think like a Malvara A1, there's some interest right there with, if this is big damage, you can ignore Mercurial, or if they have 1 stack, then you hit twice, and that would be very good. Ignoring block damage again very, very in the meta. You got the A3, the Brutish Dominance with an increased defense, counterattack, and Shatter. Shatter with the extra crit damage makes him do a lot of damage. So you get a self buff with a counterattack and an extra turn, so that's pretty good. And then Instrument of Power, the passive, 15% chance to join an ally whenever they attack, so that's kind of like Geralt. The chance increases to 25 if they're from the Dark Elves, the ally. So that's a pretty decent chance. Enemies killed by this champion whenever they counterattack or join in cannot be that makes this very interesting. So if you open up with an ally attack, the ally hits, you then have this champion go the A2, you ignore block damage, and then if you kill them, if it does big damage, this is a cannot revive. I've already seen a decent amount of comps in like Siege opening up with a really, really fast Mikage or ally attack to take off Mercurial on specific targets. This fits right into that. If this guy does a lot of damage, I think there's a lot of potential here in this kit. So we'll need to see him testing, but this to me looks like he's a very good champion. Caveating, does he do damage? Because he, just like the fusion, if they are released and then their multipliers aren't very good, then the kit really doesn't mean much unless it's a very supportive kit. So I like this kit. If he does damage, I think he'll be quite a good hero. The event dungeon. So the event dungeon is back. An exiled Queen Raya the Mourned will be the boss, and available for players level 6, and that's going for 2 months starting on June 3rd. We've got the Pinpoint set coming back. Pinpoint set was very good. I used it on a lot of my bomb champions, or anybody who didn't want to get sheeped. Obviously, the big call for using that set. Mercurial comes out, and then your 1 stack of Mercurial also protects you from getting sheeped or any debuff, so it's even better. The only place it's not better is if you're slower and the enemy can remove Mercurial, then you lose your stack versus the Pinpoint set would have stayed, and you could have prevented a sheep later on. So if you're in like a go second team, Mercurial might not be the best, but then if you got my 9-piece Mercurial, it is still pretty good. If you're only running like 1 Pinpoint versus 1 Mercurial, there are some situations where Pinpoint is better, but I think most of the time you would just choose to run Mercurial. This set I still think is good, especially if they do anything to Mercurial with just how prevalent and dominating it's been, then Pinpoint could see a comeback. I do think the set has its niche use, but again, I think just running Mercurial is oftentimes better if you're hoping to be faster, and rarely will it be the deciding factor that you win a game with like a ghost slow Pinpoint that protects you from a sheep where Mercurial wouldn't have, and it gets a little interesting, but still a good set. I'd run it. I don't think I would spend a ton of energy on this, but if you got some spare energy and you're looking to finish some quests, I would run here instead of maybe like Spider or something else. The reward calendars. This is a 25-day login. You can see an example here where you come in each day, you get a little prize. Most of the time, they're not that exciting. Maybe like a Void and like a Primal Shard towards the end. Some random energy and stuff in between. So this will be launched with the event. They include artifacts and accessories of epic legendary rarity, gemstones, glyphs, ore, and other goodies. The final reward will be determined by a vote, and you can vote on a Gilded Pinion, a Last Laugh Amulet, or a Mask of Disquiet. All of them kind of meh relics. I don't see them used. I'm not happy to pull any of these. If you don't have a copy, then you can get your 1 copy, then, congratulations, you've got a copy, but none of these are really tilting any needles, at least for endgame PvP. Although some of them do have some interesting mechanics with like the come alive from the sheep, and I believe the last laugh is the preventing death, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll go take a look right now and confirm that. Yes, if we look at the raid window here, you got the Mask of Disquiet, which is 100% chance when fully ranked up, which it's very rare to rank up a relic fully. So unless it's extremely good, you're not going to be doing it much. I only think I got 3 or 4 on my entire account, and I definitely wouldn't be ranking up this thing, but it gives an instant term after you save yourself from sheep. Would be quite good if Sheep was, dominating like it once did, but with Mercurial and other ways to block it, I don't think this one's very good. You've got the Last Laugh Amulet, which is 30% chance to activate Delay, 100%. Seen it used like one or two times maybe, but otherwise I see mostly people using like Searoth or just other better relics. I haven't seen this really come into play being a good or deciding factor in a fight. I've seen it on like Leonardo a few times, but as it comes out and you use it and you don't see it, that means the general consensus is probably not very good or not optimal. Now, there are some niche situations where you ignore things and you don't test things and they could be really good, but I don't think the Last Laugh Amulet is one of those. And then the Gilded Pinion, it's got some speed, 1% less damage if all their skills are for each skill cooldown that you have each turn of it. Again, I'm not happy to pull this when I get it, so it is what it is. 3 kind of irrelevant relics that you're getting right there. But back to the calendar. That's it to talk about there. Going into event relics. This I really like. Due to popular demand, we are bringing back relics that have previously been introduced as part of events. During the campaign, you will have a chance to get them. Insane relics have been released, and you don't have those relics at the moment. When we go back and look at some of the event relics, the Cat's Gaze is a champion-defining relic just because you can have the ignored defense. All of the ignored defense relics are relatively good and have a use. You've got the 2 mythicals here with Crown of Corruption, before it was nerfed, being insane, but still pretty good, being a speed relic. And then the Covetous Passion, this is used on a few champions where it's quite good. The Stars of, not going to attempt the pronunciation, but the Stars relic, I use this on Crixia. I think it makes her the best champion in the game. Use this on anybody. I think it makes them amazing. If I get another copy of this, I'd be over the moon. I think this relic is insane. Would use it all the time. Possibly the #1 relic that I'd be going for. Shibia's, this on Nice or some other very tanky champions where you don't get like a crit hit, maybe like a Tecteon later on, where after you get rid of the Poison Cloud, you can just struggle to kill them even more. I think this is a very good relic. I would like to try it out on my Nice. Dread Bomb, again, very good. You've got extra defense on turns. Immortal Visage, depending on the champion you put it on, very game-changing relic. Just getting an extra turn once per round, full turn meter and HP, once obviously it's ranked up. Dice, I've seen this used on like Carnage and some other champions that kind of makes it go a little crazy with you're getting some counterattacks. I'm not 100% sure the inner workings because I don't have it, but I know I've seen it used quite a bit. Tower Helm, I do have a copy of this. It's just another speed relic, but it is quite good, so that's kind of just a long-winded way to say all the event relics are pretty good. One thing I wish they would do is get rid of the frickin' 50% chance to summon any of these. I don't like this. At least lower it to not be 50% chance. I pulled back when they had the Deck of Fate that offered you a full mythical event relic pull at the very end of the path. I think I might have said the wrong event. It's a path event. I pulled every single piece of material that I could get from it. So I think that was 4 mythical pulls. I got 1 event relic, and everything else was a hilt or a Searoth and a wand, including all of the Alice mats, which was a legendary and a mythical pull. So your Alice event mats, which are guaranteed to be a Cat's Gaze if you hit the legendary, just 50% of the time is hot garbage. So I hate it. Please get rid of it. Fix the system. That's the end of my rant for that. But I do think it's nice that they're coming back. These relics are often, as they release them, very game-changing and game-defining. Stop releasing so many and then not bringing them back, in my opinion. And then the last of this is there's a gift. If you manage to get all the champions, so that would be the 6 talked about earlier. Assuming one of them is probably going to be quite hard to get, the other 5 will be available for free or through events, so it won't be too bad. But that 6th one could be a either tournament win or a prism or just something that is gonna cost a little bit more than your general daily grind. But you do get the Covetous Passion Relic. This one is quite good. There's some uses for it. Not like a S tier game changer, but you'll be happy to have it. You get the Rhea avatar, the Corrupted Frame, some gemstones, no mythical gemstones in here, so nothing looking too crazy other than the relic itself. So, event overall seems to be pretty good. I'm happy that they're running it. I'm happy that 5 of the champions will most likely be readily available to us. And then I'm very excited for Tuesday's 2x Primals and Speed during CVC. It's going to make it where if we match against a tough clan, it's going to be insane battle. However, I do have 30 Primals by the time the event rolls around. This shop will probably make that number grow up a little bit more, but hopefully we can pull some more new mythicals out of that. Would really like to get the new, whatever her face is, I don't even remember what faction she's in. The High Elf, Sabril. This champion's insane. I faced her like 3 times in live arena and lost every single one. 5s across the board for arena. Insane champion. So that's my number 1 pick if you're pulling for mythicals. If you get that, be happy. I've been Imager. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you got anything to comment down below on what you're excited about for this event, do you think any of the champions look good? Just, are you excited for Pinpoint? Do you have any uses for it? Leave that down in the comments. If you really liked the video, maybe consider subscribing. Otherwise, I appreciate you watching until the end. See you next time.